I got a nice dose of Marvel's cope for all of you that I want to go over because it's hilarious. The tears that are flowing over this movie are quite glorious. So I want to go over them with you. Before we get there, let's look at some stuff. Why the Marvels bombed at the box office and what it means for the future of the once mighty MCU. Once again, ignoring all of the problems, why this movie really failed. But Five Nights at Freddy's might make more money than the Marvels, which I find absolutely hilarious. I find it absolutely hilarious that this cheap little movie is probably going to make more money than a gigantic MCU project. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this video. Here's a nice little article that I thought was pretty interesting. Survey shows women failed to turn out for the Marvels. Where's this giant audience that we had to change the way we were running the game because we wanted to get women to come over and watch these movies, even though they are already watching them? There is a nice, sizable audience of women that enjoyed them for what they were. They don't want to be pandered to in this kind of fashion. If you want to pander to women, hire back Chris Evans and have him take his shirt off because it worked wonders for Jason Momoa in Aquaman. That movie made $1 billion and it had a large female audience. But Marvel's like, no. We need to give them nasty, mean characters that are smug and sarcastic and put everybody down, because that's, of course, what women want to see. This movie wasn't quite as bad as the usual. Like, even Brie Larson was a little looser in this movie and not trying to be so stoic, but it's still just another Marvel movie that doesn't give women what they want. You can't turn Marvel into some kind of rom-com, sitcom franchise and think that you're going to retain the men too. It just doesn't work like that. Men and women do like different things. But everyone always skews this to, oh, you're just saying you don't want women around. Women were already around, number one. Number two, if you're trying to get them to come and mash, you're going to have to make a movie like Barbie. Not this bullshit. They don't want this. But what's funny is they didn't turn out for this movie. They didn't turn out for it. They didn't want anything to do with it. Here is the numbers. Here's a breakdown of the suckers who went to see the Marvels this weekend. 65% male leaning. That's an important stat because it once again shows that more men went to see this movie than women. With 45% of men being over 25, 22% of women over 25, given the best grades at 82%, men under 25 at 20%, and women under 25 at 14%. The biggest demo was 25 through 34 at 33%. Diversity demos were 36%, Caucasian 27%, Latino, Hispanic 17%, Black, and 14% Asian. Male leaning, that's an important number there. 65%. So that's why I don't understand when we get these levels of cope, like this guy's cope, which is absolutely glorious. And this isn't an old post. He posted this yesterday. Very mad that the Marvels didn't do well. Hey, movies aren't only for men. Comic books aren't only for men. Comic books aren't only for men. Oh, comic book movies aren't only for men. Men specifically, white men, need to understand this. These spaces do not belong to you. Woke, MCU, forced diversity. Using sexist, bigoted terms like these prove that you do not understand my point above. So a film starring a white woman a black woman, and a Pakistani Canadian woman led a bunch of men to lose their minds. Hey, I get it. Brie Larson said something several years ago that caused your genitals to shrivel up and fall off. But my advice is to stop watching chuds on YouTube and realize that it was never meant to keep. It was never yours to keep. It's not for anybody anymore because women don't want to go see this movie. Who is this for? Where are they at? How come they didn't show up to watch this movie? Probably because they're not interested in this kind of shit. But they always take, you're saying all women. No, but there is a large majority of women that don't want to watch this. There are some that want to watch it, and they want to watch it for the same reason the dudes wanted to watch it. They didn't want this bullshit. They didn't want this. The numbers don't lie. They did want things like Barbies. And when it comes to comics, they're too busy reading manga and Care Bear comic books. They're not picking up Wolverine, not in mass. But, hey, male comic book reader, you need to continue to let the industry burn down. And it is burning down. It's crashing and dying because of people like this guy right here. It's not the people he's saying that people have a problem with. It's people like this guy that have ruined the comic book industry. Absolutely. Jonathan Love X-Men, you helped ruin the comic book industry. I don't want to gatekeep any of the people you're saying we want to gatekeep. I want to specifically gatekeep people like Jonathan Love's X-Men out of the comic book industry. Who's probably a white male. Just going to throw it out there. He probably is. Crazy, radical, woke people are the ones people want kept out of the comic book industry and the movies and every other form of entertainment. Any cool, normal person that rolls up and wants to join the activities, nobody has a problem with. And when I say normal, I mean anybody. Any sex, color, whatever. If you're cool, nobody wants you gone. Who they want gone are weirdos who want Spider-Man to have crutches and a wheelchair. So anyway, for example, this person who showed up on my mentions when I stated I was excited to see the Marvels because it looked fun. This editor at Gizmodo thought I must be an AI. Dan has also made videos attacking a sex trafficking survivor. Way to pick him! Gizmodo, I don't know anything about this. Gizmodo is a woke as hell outlet. But that's your new level of cope right there. Here's some more. Going after men again. There are numerous reasons why many might dislike these movies. And I'm not saying they're perfect, but looking at them, there seems to be an undeniable pattern. Yeah, they're all shitty movies. All three of those are bad movies. All three of them are bad movies. That's the problem. Oh, no, it's just because there's women in them. No, they're bad movies. They're shit. Eternals, shit. The Marvels, shit. Birds of Prey, shit. And finally, the famous Kotaku writer, a stalker of Eric July and Comicsgate people, says this is still the highest grossing film opening by a black female director. So that's the win. It's a Disney PR talking point. There are no wins with this movie. I'm sure she would rather have her name attached to a movie that did well. So, just saying. That's your daily dose of cope. The biggest takeaway here, of course, is that women didn't show up for this movie. The people that showed up for this movie were all men, per usual. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.